All right, so this is an indie game available on Steam and itch.io called Schwert. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It means red sword, and it will become immediately apparent why it's named that. I'm playing on the Vivid Nightmare difficulty mode. That's the hard difficulty mode. Ordinary Dream is kind of the normal one. And you'll see you have two weapons in this game. You have the kind of single line shot, this one that I'm tapping right here, which sends these like silhouettes of yourself out, which I think is a pretty cool effect. And it homes in on whatever the nearest enemy to you is, just like so. You'll see I'm delaying killing those guys to keep a chain up. This game, I like that it has a fun stage one. It's a rule in a shooting game. You gotta have a stage one that's interesting to score because you're gonna be playing it a lot, and part of what makes it interesting to play stage one again and again and again, even as you get better at the game, and for survival it becomes super easy, is that you can focus on kind of these little scoring tricks, like maintaining that ×8 all the way through that first part. Can't say that I will be showcasing any super high scoring techniques in this game. I did not focus on chaining between these sections of enemies where there are like these huge gaps. I'm not sure if it's like even possible. If the game were like really meticulously designed, I would assume it would be, but being that it's an indie game, and being that I did play it a lot and found the timing really tricky. Like, I did try and kind of delay killing some enemies and waiting for the next ones to come on, but it just didn't seem like it was working out for me in any kind of significant way. So I kind of abandoned that, especially because look, the game puts so many enemies up on screen that you get to your ×8 really, really quickly, and that's all that matters, is getting up to the ×8, and then it's not like you increase exponentially from there. It's just that's the max multiplier, and it's pretty easy to get there given the amount of enemies that the game throws at you. This is a really tricky part of stage one, where these things are coming from both sides in these big clusters, and they start shooting really fast, and you have to kind of figure out how to kill them as quick as possible. That's kind of the deal with this game. It floods you with enemies and kind of challenges you to come up with ways to quick kill them. You see I got a life gen of +8 there. At the end of every stage in hard mode, you get +8 life, and that's it. You get one true life and then +8 health. And so now I have 23, started from 16. So I didn't mention that you have a speed increase button in this game. Most bullet hell shooters have like a slowdown button for micro dodging. This game has a speed up for flying around and slashing anything that moves. And so you'll see also that there's no collision damage with enemies, and your sword automatically activates when you hit an enemy. So there's nothing to press. You just fly around and over enemies, and it'll kill them, or use your two shots. This one that I'm shooting now is the second shot, the wide shot, which is interesting because it has this really delayed deployment. So it like kind of flies backward before it flies forward, which makes it really tricky to use for like keeping up the chain, and given that the enemies are flying in fast and furious, using that shot might seem like a smart thing to do at first, but then you realize, oh man, it takes kind of like 2 or 3 seconds for it to get down to the other end of the screen, and in the meantime, the enemy's already there shooting you. So interesting play between figuring out like what types of shots are best in which sections of the game. You can see that in this level only, it gives you these health items, spams you with them really, and I got up to 70 life there, which is really quite necessary. Seems absurd, like you can get hit 70 times, but there's no iframes in the game whatsoever, and the bullets can be pretty dense. So you can take like, 10 hits in a bad, like if you get into a bad place and you get hit by a big wave of bullets, it's not just going to be one hit, it's going to be like a ton because there are no iframes. That's the only level that gives you health, and it gives you that kind of funky choice of like choosing ones that say die instead of live. This game is kind of, it's got cool theming and a neat little story around like self exploration and kind of personal, I don't know, betterment, I guess, by killing your inner demons. I mean, that's kind of what I gathered from it. But yeah, you're choosing live or die, and then it's saying these like vague things about like staying with her until the very end. It kind of depends on how you defeat that last kind of piece of that stage. The game is very much kind of like Zero Ranger in that way, where it's got a lot of kind of mysterious stuff happening under the hood that's kind of opaque, and you might turn up a different ending to a stage if you do the right thing, or you might have a boss be harder if you like make quote unquote the wrong choice. So some interesting stuff to kind of see from run to run. So I haven't been talking about the gameplay, kind of the strategy behind my play, just because it's all so fucking fast and it just seems like impossible to do. But generally speaking, I'm trying to kill enemies as quickly as possible. I'm trying to use my sword, when they appear rhythmically like they did at the beginning of that stage, one pops up and then another and then another. Usually if you hold your sprint button, you can just fly over to the enemies in sequential order and just kill them before they even shoot you and get a bunch of points that way. This is an interesting part. You can kill this boss early and it just bumps you to the next level and you miss a whole like phase of fighting that boss. However, you don't get the +8 regen. And I figured out in my limited playthroughs that it was worth just skipping the last part of that boss. That in general, like on average, I would lose more than 8 health trying to defeat him or her. And so I just decided to have that be my strategy. This is the level that was really heavily routed, and luckily the game has stage practice, so I could just start this stage over and practice routing. But you see what I mean, like all of these enemies are popping in sequential order, and I'm just like moving over them as though they were a path to walk on and just slicing them up. If you delay even for a moment killing any one of these, there's just a huge cloud of bullets all of a sudden, and you're taking a bunch of hits. And same with this. Just the quickest method you can find to just stop these enemies from swarming and multiplying before you can kill them. That's kind of the deal. Really cool vibes in this game. Cool soundtrack. Cool like Zero Ranger two-tone look about it. Very effective in my opinion. This is a really tough part that illustrates like okay, I can dodge those and kind of, you got to quick kill them, and you can quick kill things even faster with the 3 spread shot. Like your melee on big enemies is more powerful because your silhouettes kind of sit for a moment on them. But this is one of those points in the game where I don't know about the way the health works in it. It just is confusing to me. Like, look at this part. Not this part, but the part afterward. I'm not sure how you don't take damage here. And just like not this part. All right, this is okay. You got to use your wide shot to quick kill, and then these 4 guys appear on screen. They take forever to kill, and look at the fucking bullets they let loose. So there's no way you can kill all 4 of them speed kill, I don't think. And so it's just like, are you just supposed to eat X amount of damage there? In which case, like, are you supposed to eat X amount of damage in other parts of the game? And just, it becomes like too unclear and a little bit of a like a design flaw, I think, when you're just, you're not certain that every pattern can be solved, and you're kind of, I don't know, deciding where are the best places to just take a bunch of damage and not practice it a bunch, just because like there may not be a solution, maybe like RNG plagued or whatever. I don't know. Can't give it too much shit, because it is really nicely put together and thought about, I think, but it's just a small nitpick. I just don't love the kind of giving you a shitload of health and then spewing a bunch of random bullets at you and kind of like making it so murky your path to success, I guess, if that makes sense. Okay, we're up to 66 life. Oh, one thing I'll say, clear criticism of the game is the loading times are brutal. I don't know if my I don't know if it would be different on a more powerful system, but I have a decent system, and you wait quite a bit to kind of even start up a new game. There's a bunch of big loading screens, like 10 seconds or so, which seems long for a game like this. This is cool, little introduction of this concept, these little keyholes lighting up, and that's what this whole level is about. You would think that this would be the hardest of the non-final boss levels, since it's the penultimate one, but it's really quite simple once you get to know how these things shots behave, and you can also kind of maintain, focus on having fun, like trying to keep your combo up during all of these. They're all little combo puzzles in that way, or like multiplier puzzles. Generally, the way is to like sit on as many as possible with your sword and quick kill them before, in there winding up to start shooting at you, and then finish the rest off with the homing shot. This one is just kind of a more dense version of the last one. And then you start kind of just circling around, and pretty not too hard to micro dodge these circly patterns that it shoots at you. It's pretty slow. Not too terrible. This one's cool because in the kind of foreground you've got the same kind of sword slashing in sequence, and then in the background you've got all the other ones appearing and firing off bullets at you that you're not going to quick kill in time, so you're definitely going to have some fire to contend with here, and it's just a matter of using that the wide shot to catch the background ones while you're slashing the foreground ones. Here I stick exclusively to the 3-spread, and because like it does very well with these clusters of these keyhole things, and if you don't take them out in big clusters quickly, this part can get overwhelming, as it sort of does start to, I think, in this particular run. It's not so bad. All right. And that's that. That's stage 5 done. And so it won't say it on screen, but I'll get 8 more health for a total of 74. And then, so that was the first 2/3 of the game, those 5 stages. Pretty fun and brief to play and replay, and you can practice every stage. This last third of the game, you cannot practice. You have to get through those 5 stages to even have a look at what this boss has in store for you, and it is extremely hard. And I barely squeaked by, and I could have improved my play. If I had been able to practice it, I might have gone back and just kind of figured out cleaner ways through this final boss and made it look a little nicer. But with no practice ability, I just wasn't about to play the stages a shitload more just to get attempts in at this boss. So you'll see a little bit of sloppy play here, but so be it. I mean, I was proud just to kind of get the one level above the normal difficulty clear. Generally in Dojin games, I challenge myself to do that if I enjoy it, just because like they tend to be a little bit easier. But this one is no joke. I mean, look at this boss. This is nothing. I mean, this is just the preamble. This pattern's tricky. I never quite figured that out. That was not a horrible approach. Just kind of gotta... it's hard to read. I found kind of staying toward the left side and letting the bullets move past you for the most part was the way to go there. But not a perfect solution. And look at this. So all these pink bullets are RNG, I would assume. I haven't gone to look and confirm. But yeah, so there's, and this all moves so quickly, and then they start bringing stuff in from the back, and it's like you're just hoping you banked enough life during the stages to just get through this, sort of war of attrition deal here. This one I had a little bit. I kind of learned how to deal with it, although I'm not doing very well at all. Jeez. So like we started at 74 and we're down to 47. And we're not even close to done. This one's tricky because it turns off your homing. So no longer can you home in, and you have to kind of stay at the boss's level of the, in the vertical space to hit her. And you have to dodge all of these fucking things that, again, I just think they flower out at random positions. So there's no kind of practicing it except for just knowing how they behave individually. This is a really tricky one. Yeah. So the pink, you kind of find a gap and you just let the bullets kind of move past you. And then this one, same sort of deal, I guess, but it's much harder, much more fucky, clustery nonsense. To get through, and we took 5 hits during that phase. Alright, so this is nothing, and then she'll kind of like grab you psychically and stick you right here in the middle of this big spiral. Really tight gaps to deal with here. Okay, we took basically like 5 or 6 or 7 more damage. Some more quick circular spiraling in a tight space with like other little bullets seemingly randomly flying at you from off screen. So it's like a little too much RNG spam for my liking, but it tests your dodging skills, that's for sure. And it does give you the health to deal with it. So, as evidenced by my clearing this run in spite of taking a shitload of hits on all these phases. So it's like, okay, I think it compensates enough for it, but it's still not my favorite thing in the world. Ooh, that sucked. That sucked a lot. That's not a hard pattern to deal with, and it's easy to just get psyched out or to just get kind of exhausted during this, because it's not just pattern, solution executing. It's quick dodging based on reaction a lot of the time. Like, see that pattern, you might think, oh, okay, it could be solved, but like then they just start spewing the RNG at you again. All right, you might think it's over, remarkable, but no, it is not. The hardest shit is yet to come. Okay, no problem here. This kind of thing is like, okay, if you haven't seen this before, you just get absolutely owned by one of those waves hitting you because there are so many bullets. And again, as aforementioned, the iframes are not there, so you'll take like 15 hits in if you get caught in a wave of one of those. I don't think I do a great job. Okay, I did okay there. We're at 24 health. Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal... Ooh. Okay. Not bad. I'm not sure what the deal with that, the diagonal line pattern is. It's like, I think you just kind of hang out and... what? And how the fuck? What do you do here? At this point, I'm like, oh god, please have enough health. I had seen this maybe once before. And so just no practice, like no ability, or no, so I have to sprint, so it's like micro-dodging through these while sprinting is tough. And then you gotta sit here in the back. If you get caught in the center, you're just screwed, as you can see. Oh my god. Oh, 8 lives left, or 8 health. It's not done. I'm not a big Touhou guy. Like this feels very Touhou to me. And maybe it's like referencing patterns that are in those games, or this sort of epic like final boss with a bajillion patterns phases is like common for Touhou, but I'm not used to it. This is fucking crazy to me. Okay, and for some reason she died there, so I guess I damaged her enough before that pattern finished. I'm not sure, but 2 health left. Haven't mentioned the story too much. There's a story. You saw a little cutscene of her like using her red sword to like get into the room before this, and now she gets into the room in this difficulty and says, and she sees something. What is this place? So the deal with this, she can't enter. The deal with this game is that each difficulty level has its own ending, and from what I have read from just what little I can find out there on this, the alter ego difficulty, which is the one above the one I just played, and one in which you cannot kill an enemy. You have to passively dodge through the entire game. Beating that difficulty mode is the only way to get kind of the like actual ending of the game, or the true ending, or whatever you want to say. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong about that. If you know, I would hate to like give out false info, but I just can't find anything concrete. And I someone who had reviewed it on Steam did mention that. So I think that's a little bit of a shame, because like that ending is just essentially locked away until someone who wants to sink a ton of time into this with, again, no ability to save state it or practice that brutal final boss, will just have to put in all the time, and I just don't know that it's ever going to happen, so I don't know if we'll ever get that ending. Kind of cool and mysterious on one hand, and on the other, it's just a little bit of a bummer. Because I was kind of interested in the whole aesthetic of the game, and the whole character and what her deal is, and all of the little narrative bits that it has in there. It's very Zero Ranger, it's very compelling, and yeah, you just can't get all of it. However, if it wasn't clear during my spiel there through the whole game, I do really like this. I think it's very good. It kept me coming back to get that pretty difficult, asterisk for a Dojin game, pretty difficult clear. And yeah, I would happily play more from this developer. Maybe there are some people who haven't heard of it that like its aesthetic or the gameplay, kind of funky gameplay stuff it does, and we'll check it out as a result of this. That would be cool. So thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.